I feel that many of us don't understand how intuition really works, because we've all heard people say, many people say, but I was just following my intuition. That thing came to me intuitively and I was simply following that thing. But then all of this happened, that happened, and things got really messed up when I was just following my intuition. When I followed my intuition, and it led me to my life getting even more messed up. And the first thing we have to know is that your intuition depends on where you are energetically at this point. Your intuition is meant to clarify things for you. It's meant to show you the way. It's meant to tell you where you're at. It's meant to lead you to your essence. Intuition doesn't necessarily lead you to your dreams, to your dream reality, or to the life you wish you had. Intuition gives you more of what you truly are at that point, of where you are energetically. What is your vibration? What is your frequency? And if you want to know what is your frequency, what realm of energy you're keeping yourself at, there are ways to know. You can have your clues. But first, it's not about what you know. It's not determined by what you learn. It's not what you're doing. Because, you could learn many things. You could be, taking all of these courses and reading all of those books and learning all of those skills, but you're not really incorporating those things into who you are. Like, you would be feeling, it's similar to when like you're learning and you're seeking and you're knowing all of those things, but you feel on the inside, you don't feel that that's you at this point still, that you're still, that same young version of yourself, that you cannot do anything with these information you've learned, with this knowledge you've learned. And you're just learning more and more, but you don't see yourself putting those pieces you've gathered into action. You don't see yourself putting this knowledge into action, into play, using it in your favor. You don't see it. You're still identified with your previous version. You're still identified with the version of yourself that gave you your last external feedback, which was perhaps a failed experience, an experience that did not go as you wanted to go. And that's what you're still defined by, and that's what still you're identified with. And that's why you could learn as much as you want, but as long as you did not incorporate it into your essence and made yourself all about that, then it's not part of your vibrational energy, of your frequency yet. And the other way you could tell, so the way you could actually tell where you at energetically, and to know what you're vibrating on, is to always take this into consideration, to take this statement into consideration. Just because you do something in following the rules, so just because you're doing something because you're just following the rules of the society, of the government, of the law, or the rules of whatever institute you're in, doesn't mean that you are truly that person. So you're doing something because you're in fear of being held accountable. You're in fear of the repercussions. You're in fear of, what would happen if you did not do that thing. Doesn't mean that you are the person, doesn't mean that you get to be defined as the person who does those things. You see what I mean? You're getting what I mean? So just because you do things because you have no other choice, that does not make it your energy. Then again, it's not yet incorporated. Now, if you're in an educational system, like if you live somewhere and the educational system forces you to read 2 hours about self-development a day, and 1 hour about financial success, and 1 hour about relationship success a day, so you're reading like 4 or 5 hours a day, but you hate it, you don't like it, you don't want to be sitting through that. You're simply doing it because it's what the rules of your educational system is telling you. It doesn't mean that energetically you're gonna become whatever you're reading. You're gonna be the person who leads a life of someone who's actually reading about all of those things daily for 4 or 5 hours. It doesn't work that way, because that means first, you did not incorporate it in your new identity, and second, it's not your vibrational alignment. You're not aligning with yourself with that. Now, if you do it long enough, anything you do it long enough, it's gonna become you. It's gonna become about you. You're gonna become about it. You're gonna identify with it. It's gonna be part of your energetic alignment. But that's not why I'm using this example. That's not why I'm saying this. I'm just using it as a way to exemplify, to clarify for you how to know if you're at that point yet, if you are truly energetically aligned with whatever you're trying to do yet, or are you still, just forcing yourself. You're still, or not even forcing yourself. Think about what would you do if you had everything, if there were no repercussions, if you won't be held accountable for anything, if there were no laws or rules that are binding you. Who would you be? What would you do if you were not desperate to make that amount of money that you're trying to make, or find that loving relationship that you're seeking, or making it with the business that you've started? If those things were no limiters, were not limiting you, what would you actually do? So just because you cannot do something in the present moment, just because you don't have enough money to go and indulge in all of the debauchery in this world, but if you did have this money, all the money in the world, and you wouldn't care, and that would be the true you would be, indulge in all of the things that are against the place you're trying to get to at this point, against whatever you're trying to do now. You would simply, if you had the chances, if you had the opportunity, you would simply indulge in all of those things. It means that is your true identity. That is your true vibrational alignment, energetic alignment, rather than whatever you're sitting yourself down and trying and forcing yourself to do simply because you have no other choice. So it's not that I get to blame it on my intuition. Now, I'm gonna tell you we're gonna come to intuition and how that feeds into your intuition, what your alignment currently is feeding into your intuition. But you don't get to say that, oh, I was doing all of those things and they never led me. I was working and I was putting all of that effort and I was, aligning myself. I was doing the things. I was living the version that I see myself to be, that I want myself to be. But still, it did not happen because you were just doing that because you had no other choice. So that's when that's how to know if you are currently energetically aligned with something that you seek or not. Just because you're forced to sit down and read for 5 hours a day, or if you're at a society that forces you to meditate 2 hours a day, or you're at somewhere else that forces you to invest every month a small amount into something, doesn't mean that you're about all of that, unless you don't have to force yourself through it, unless you truly start seeing yourself through it and you truly love it and adopt it as who you are, so that even if those rules were to fall out, even if those rules were to disappear tomorrow, you would still continue doing that thing. Then that means, not out of fear, not out of desperation, not because you have no other choice, not because you're just doing it because it promises something and you're just desperately seeking that outcome. It has to reach to a point to truly be in energetic alignment with that thing. It has to reach to a point where it's effortless, where it's who you are, where it's what you love to do, where it's what you would love to spend your time doing, or being, or seeing, or feeling, or thinking. Because that also, it's majorly all about emotions, all about how it makes you, all about what you feel. That's what determines your energetic alignment. But the action, the things you do, the things you indulge in, the life you're living, all feed into your emotional system. So I have many other videos about how emotions truly work out in your intuition and all of that. So I'm not going to get into this at this point. But now, moving on, once you determined your energetic alignment, now your intuition comes from that. That is the realm of energy. That is the energetic beings you're surrounded by. That is the energy that's all around you, which is feeding into your essence. So your intuition is meant to lead you to your essence over and over again. So it's a way to show you where you're currently at. Now, I'm not gonna say that your intuition is gonna lead you to make a wrong decision or take a bad turn or do a bad choice or whatever, because each and every one of those things is a clarification of where you stand currently. Whenever you follow your intuition, it's leading you to understand what is it that you're currently living through. So intuition or inspired action, I just recently made a video about that, is meant to give you more and more of your current alignment, of your vibrational alignment that you were at prior to feeling that intuition. It's meant to give you more of that. So if it was shame, if it was sadness, if it was misery, if it was fear, if it was, hatred and resentment and any of those things, then your intuition is gonna give you something, it's gonna give you something to do, an idea, a thought, and it's gonna feel very intuitive, it's gonna feel very real, and you're gonna do it, and it's gonna lead you to more and more of that. Toxicity, sadness, resentment, hatred, anger, fear, depending on what you were at, where you were prior to receiving that intuition. And so now, what do you do with that? What do you do after you've felt that intuitive call and you did that thing and it showed you that it was not what you wanted? It's telling you that here is your problem, that this is the thing that's keeping you from whatever you truly want, from whatever you've been wanting for so long, for years now, maybe, perhaps, years, months, whatever it is for you. It's telling you whenever your intuition leads you to do something, leads you to a place, and then it does not give you that thing, it's showing you that through that experience, it will show you all of the emotions, all of the actions, all of the thoughts that are preventing you, that are serving as an obstacle from that dream reality you're seeking. So it's gonna show you everything through that experience, and it's for you to learn. Now, what happens if you just hate it for what it caused you and hate life and, reject all this whole experience and reject your intuition? It's gonna keep repeating. It takes one form and then a different form, third form, different trials, but ultimately giving you the same emotion, giving you the same set of emotions, the same thoughts, the same low frequency alignment is gonna keep giving you that, and it gets more and more intense. The more you remain identified with something, it keeps getting more and more intense. It keeps getting better in regards to that what you're identified with. And when madness is better, it becomes more mad. When sadness is better, you're better, regardless of any definitions we've put on better. So not better does not mean to the positive. Better just means an enhanced version of that thing. So a better form of sadness is going to be more sadness, more intense sadness, in other words. So it keeps getting intensified, and that is basically how your intuition works, and then it tells you, it shows you, it's your fear. When your intuition leads you to something, and then that experience brings you fear, brings you sadness, brings you misery, more misery, then it tells you that your identification with fear, that your dependency on this emotion is keeping you from that. And then you've been, and another way to look at it is that you've been living through that, you've been identifying with that. That's why your intuition has to lead you to that. And then okay, so that's why I was in this realm, and so I was in this energetic alignment, I was in this vibrational energy, I was living through that, and now that's why I got more of that. And that's why my intuition was only feeding from the energy, from the frequency I'm keeping myself at. If I'm only here, so all of my intuition is going to be fed through that realm of energy, through that frequency, and that frequency is all about those things. And so it gave me that experience, which made me feel those things all over again. And now you can adapt. Now you can change some things. Now you understand. Now it's clarified. Oh, and it was that I was in fear, that I chose to identify with fear, that I did not trust enough, that I was always resentful towards life, towards others, towards everyone, towards all of the experiences in my life, because it's not the ultimate form yet. And that keeps going, and that keeps happening. That's how you understand how intuition works. And that gives you more, and that gives you, something to build on in the future. And that's how intuition really works. That is what I mean by keeping yourself in a energetic alignment of the things you actually seek. It's determined by that energetic alignment. Your intuition, once you're at that energetic alignment, now your intuition is going to feed you your truth. Now intuition is going to give you more of what you want, truly. Now your intuition is going to lead you to your dream reality. But you have to know, first of all, where do you stand in terms of energetic alignment based on what we've said earlier in this video. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning in to another video by AF's Conscious Frequency, to another beautiful day. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel, because it helps me so much and it helps this video find its way to many more others who might actually need it.